Either way, last time the squad delved into the off-limits mine shaft, led by the foreman Toka down the rails that spiraled around this seemingly bottomless pit. Xalia defaced one of the reliefs dedicated to a certain god king, and they were suddenly attacked by members of the Dusk Archive chasing everybody down the tunnel, putting down one of the creepier alleyway ambushers that attacked Pastiche, Twig, and Freels a couple days ago. Toka was clear to put his mining skills to good use, and with liberal amounts of explosive excavation made possible by the spheres that have been engineered, 2 collapses were blown away. One that was assumed to occur due to inexperience, and the other due to an attack by a creature that rose from the water. Pushing on, the group arrived at the bottom of the mine shaft to find a waterfall, a pile of rocks, and the entrance to some kind of structure. Chuman fired off a crossbow bolt to cause a 2-headed snake to flee, and it was later revealed that the rock pile that the snake was moving toward held an unconscious mouse. Rousing her poisoned body, she was glad to see you all, if battered and exhausted. Which brings us to the party, huddled around Mouse in deep water with a waterfall to the south and a ruined entrance to the north. Mouse is sitting up, coughing once in a while from accidentally sucking down the health potion down the wrong tube. Her husky voice is grunky. I am beyond grateful that you all came down here. I know what I got hit by, and any longer would have me a goner. She looks around and lays eyes on Toka. Oh, hey there, big guy. I was trying to keep you safe by branding you a trespasser. He crosses his arms, and Mouse grins weakly, then looks at Zoaz, who seems distracted. Then he looks at Twig. Then she looks at Twig. So, what are we up to?
What are we up to? What about you? How did you get down here?
I was chasing Feather, yeah? And she jumped into the gap like a crazy person. It looked like she was floating, so I clambered down after her using my grappling hooks and, my skills. Feather got me good with that nasty sword of hers. It put me out of my senses, and I lost my grip on my strider and I fell down. Something's weird with her, you guys. She gets talons when she's serious. That's not normal.
Talons. Okay. I mean, Zayla's gonna just in the background put out a few talons because she can.
Like, what do you mean not normal? We can do them anytime.
Okay, well maybe it's the first time I saw it.
Zayla's like not even in view. She's just over on the side looking at something else. No, Pigma.
Looks like she looks at one of her grappling hooks that's on the ground. She grabs it and kind of like shifts a bit and attaches. Looks like I had lost my strider. It's probably still stuck up the hole somewhere. I want to come with you, but I'm in no shape to help with heavy lifting.
Well, can you walk?
She kind of like gets up, uses the wall to kind of like steady herself. She's pulling herself up with her hands, making sure of it. She tests her weight on her legs a bit, and she looks at you. Yeah, I think I can move around.
Twig nods and says, "That's good. Just make sure to take it easy. We're down here looking for Feather ourselves." And then he motions back. This is Toka. I think you two have met.
Yeah. She smiles at him. Toka kind of like looks away and snorts.
There's no guarantee that you can go back through our wake. there could be more reinforcements coming to try and stop us. They came from behind just earlier, so if you can stand, then Makayla kind of grimaces. The best place for you might just be with us right now.
She nods. Well, I definitely...
Well, out of the chair.
What?
She just decided to attack the chair.
For a sec.
Oh.
Oh,
Sake, no, stop.
Mouse nods. Yeah. I acknowledge my state. I'll be careful. She kind of moves forward towards the edge of the rock where it goes into the water, and she and she actually just kind of like goes down and just looks like she's falling. She catches herself a bit. I'll start on the other foot.
Yeah, I really don't want to use that second level spell slot on an NPC.
Wow, that's
She looks around. Pardon, but this is the first time I've kind of seen where we are. Where are we? I know I realize we're at the bottom of the thing, but have you had any exploration yet?
No, we arrived in this location, though. You might want to see this. Makayla would kind of like help her, like go up there, help her at least over it to the where she would be able to see the ruins.
Okay.
The entrance of the ruins.
The water's deep, so it actually appears that it's a little easier for her to maneuver, where she's not putting all the weight on her legs. So she kind of like wades and maneuvers, kind of half swims.
Mm-hmm.
And you lead over and do what?
Just wait. Oh right, she probably doesn't have dark vision. I forgot I have like super dark vision going on.
The light of the blessing of Selenay allows you to see many things.
Yeah, I forgot it was like. Yes. Kind of. Oh right. Vision. We should just move out of the water. It's not good to just stand in it. There's a ruins up ahead. This is what it appears everybody's been digging for. Kind of turns to Toka as she says that.
Toka kind of like he sees Mouse maneuver forward. He just kind of sighs, harumphs, and then grips her by her kind of like neckerchief and shawl, and just picks her up, and then kind of picks her up like in just one arm, and he's got the torch in the other. Come along.
It's like Nanamo style.
So Toka, carrying Mouse, leads away forward, and he shines light. He takes like a step close to you, Makayla, and he shines the light, and you can see an entrance to a structure. You get the idea that the original entrance may have been ornate architecture, though it has since collapsed from numerous Khorzaire rock slides, and only a stone lintel remains. Mouse, her face widens and her eyes go wide. She gets this glowing look in her face. If if her eyes could glitter, they would just turn into anime stars. And then she looks around. Oh, there's got to be so much to discover here. These types of places are always a let no stone go unturned kind of thing. Trust me, it's my job.
While this has been going on, Xalia has been just kind of wandering around and shoving her nose in anything that looks vaguely interesting to her.
Okay. Let's see. Are you saying like inside the structure or like in the area that you guys
Like,
were?
in the area.
Okay. That waterfall looks pretty interesting, but
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna
not
ask
able
about
to put
that.
your nose in it. The stalagmite is interesting for a bit because it kind of curves. That's weird. Let's see.
I mean, I think last we left off, we were kind of at the conclusion that there was something going on behind this waterfall.
Yeah, you were able to detect many blips of magic behind it.
Alright, Zalia's looking at that.
Let's see here. And is
She
there
will-
or isn't there? Okay. There is not. So nothing happens.
Would there still be like individual things glowing in it from the spell from last time?
Well, the only person that could see the glow would be Makayla,
Oh, okay.
because the detect magic is only for her.
Oh, okay.
Oh. It's like speckled flecks of like something magic behind it.
Yeah, so
You
you get
said?
the idea that it's many objects rather than a single thing.
Sure. Noticing, I guess, the two of them still looking at the waterfall, Makayla would kind of yell, speak out to them and say, "There is something, or rather, many things that appear magical behind it. I can't make it out."
Zalia's gonna put her hand in the waterfall.
Okay, so Twig and Xalia, while you're here and Xalia's hand confirms it, this waterfall is pounding. It is huge, thick, and it has a lot of force cascading downwards. When you put your hand in the waterfall, it immediately shunts it down. Looks like
I
traversing
see.
through it would be difficult through normal means.
Zalia's going to attempt to just mage hand just to shove that through and poke it in there. Just poke around.
That's a good question. Is Mage Hand something that other things can interact with?
Let me just paste the text for it real quick. Hi, Sigma. Yes, you will be fed soon. It is not food time yet, though. Meow!
It can interact with other things.
Hold on. I learned that if I turned off the noise filter, she's actually audible. So give me a moment.
I mean, we heard a pretty audible meow right there.
Hi, Sigma. Say hi. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
It can interact with all these other things, so I would imagine that other things can interact with it, but it doesn't say.
Say hi. Sigma.
Special floating man.
Okay, did you hear that?
Well, I guess it's like would it be able to? I think I remember trying to think about this last
Okay.
week, and what
Mhm.
conclusion I kind of came up with is like, if the water is more than 10 pounds of force on it, as it tries to pass through it, it wouldn't be able to hold that, right? It'd just be pushed down,
Yeah, it would-
right?
Yeah,
it would
I think that
typically be
makes
trying
sense.
to-
If other things
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
interact with it, then there shouldn't be a carry limit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it would be trying to like hold the waterfall up as it moves forward. Okay. The Mage Hand is definitely affected by the waterfall in this manner. As you move the Mage Hand forward, it is blasted down from the waterfall and hits the rocks and other shale environment on the waterfall.
Zayla's gonna make an annoyed clicking sound.
Meanwhile, standing next to it, the spray is relatively nice and calming upon your faces.
That's nice.
Mm.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Get someone with a strength score. Wait, we don't have any of
Yeah,
those.
about that.
If you're so curious, hold on, what's range? Perfect. I mean, maybe you won't be satisfied until you know what's behind that waterfall. Or, actually, do I have to see? I do have to see. Darn, I can't like mold earth behind it. That's what my plan was gonna be.
They thought of everything.
I really did. Well, we've tried nothing and are all out of ideas. I mean, I could try and throwing one of my stones into it, but I'd rather not provoke it if it's a beast. Or rather, groups of them. But
Zayla's just gonna sit there digging through her bags a little bit.
just like in the water.
Yes. She's going to try to pour the dark mantle dribble into it.
Wait, what?
Alright, Xalia, you upend this vial of dark mantle dribble, just this slobber collected from this slumbering stalactite creature, and against all odds, it has no effect.
I think that's the right idea. I'm gonna add the Stand King to it.
What? Makayla's like, am I missing something? Or what?
The waterfall makes a Constitution saving throw.
Bang.
Wow.
Okay.
Plus 10.
You, Twig, taking a cue from Xalia, you also produce a vial of liquid, and you quench the waterfall's thirst. Nothing happens. But surely any creature that lives in this little alcove is now well and truly intoxicated.
Don't you have some, Xalia, don't you have a spear of water or something?
She'll pull that out. She'll poke it through there, and it probably immediately drop it.
Yeah, just unceremoniously poking through it. It does part the water for a moment before gravity realizes that it is a natural law, and it shoves the spear down.
Celia continues making annoyed chittering sounds.
There is a quick glimpse that you can get of many things strewn on the ground in the very brief moment that your adventurer eyes can afford of seeing past the little waterfall.
You're tempting us.
I'm just drinking coffee.
There's a whole room in the other direction, you know.
Yeah, but
Xalia
Twig.
there's a thing here.
Twig just huffs and says, guys, it's just water. How bad could it be?
You're welcome to try.
Twig's gonna
Okay, kind of face palming at this point.
Twig's gonna take out the rope and tie it around his waist and hand the other end to Xalia. And he'll say, if it sounds like I'm drowning, pull.
Celia nods enthusiastically.
Oh no.
Some of her tar is already on the rope.
Oh
Because she's
no.
still a fucking tar piece with a null skull.
Twig's also gonna hand off the lantern to Xalia so it doesn't get wet. And he's gonna take a few breaths, collect himself, and try to dash through the waterfall to the other side.
Okay. I need an athletics check from you.
Athletics. Not a problem.
Let's go. Let's go! I was very excited, and then I saw the -1, but
Yeah.
I'm still kind of excited.
It's a good roll, but it is 8 strength.
Alright, Twig. So, mustering your courage and regulating your breathing, you take a couple breaths to get it steady, and then take another breath to fill your lungs, steel yourself, and then aggressively wade through the water. Kind of like brace your arms above your head and try to maneuver through the waterfall. It threatens to buffet you back, and for a moment you're pushed back and you're unable to make progress. But the determination that wells up within you, and knowing that there's a certain group that would make fun of you if you could not do this,
Absolutely.
you urge forward and suffer 2 bludgeoning damage from the pounding water beating down upon your head and shoulders. But fantastically, your skill in athletics, the superior adrenaline, allow you to push past this torrent of water. And nice. So in here, you can't see anything because you don't have dark vision.
Oh no.
But you do manage to pull yourself forward, and there is an undercut of the waterfall. You are in an alcove, and you are not being pressured by this huge waterfall from above. You are soaking, sopping wet, but you are on something that can be called dry land, but you cannot see because there is no light here. What would you like to do?
Would I be able to light a candle, or would it be? I imagine it would be soaking wet right now.
Where was the candle?
In my backpack.
Okay.
On my back.
Let's find out. Let's find out if the water is okay. Sure. You are able to light this candle. And it produces a very small, very dim light. And in here, you are able to see something slightly ghastly. There is remains here of a creature. It looks vaguely humanoid. They're kind of like splayed out on the ground. You can see their bones in a vague array of just kind of like face down on the ground. There is a pack with spilled out, rotted goop coming out of it, and there is a like another pouch, something of like a little satchel with a dirty kind of pull string. It's upended, fallen over with rocks spilling out of it. There's lots of pebbles and kind of rubble all around here, but it seems like a very small little undercut. So it's definitely just a natural thing and not a man-made structure. But there you have it.
Is there anything to see interesting about any of the packs?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Make an investigation check.
Any of the what, sorry?
The packs.
Okay.
Yeah, make an investigation check, and then I think you had something more to your question.
Oh no, I was just gonna specify like on the inside of, besides like slime and rocks.
Okay. So, taking a look, bending down, maneuvering the candle towards it because it doesn't shed very much light because it's just a candle. It is 1 lumen. And you bring the candle down. The bigger bag. It appears to be something of a haversack, just like that kind of thing, like a messenger bag. Just trying to get the size of the bag in your head.
Yeah.
It has 1 fold-over pouch. It seems to clip with 2 metal clasps that hold it closed. Has 1 strap, so it looks like it's designed to be worn diagonally across the body. It is open, spilled over. There is this rancid-smelling goop coming out of it. You get the idea that it's that it's long gone food. Kind of like poking at the bag and taking it, upending it, and just shaking it all out. More nasty goop. It's almost like a sludge comes out. So doesn't seem to be anything in that one. Oh, but wait! At the very end, amid the goop, you hear some like splats of something solid hitting the rock floor, and for a moment, you fear that it is simply more solid, like less deteriorated food, but kind of like kicking it with your toe talon there, you find 8 pieces of gold.
Oh.
And the other bag, the other pack, it's like it looks kind of like a gold pouch, like a carrying satchel of small items. That, bring the candle closer, that just has rocks in it. But your investigation check is sufficient in finding out that these are actually pretty decent rocks. They are perfect spheres. They are all they're round, like I said, perfect spheres. They're polished, and you take a moment and think, look around, and you find the rotted, broken remains of a slingshot, and among the bones and such, and you get the idea that these are sling bullets. And you found dang, high rolls. You found 8 sling bullets. There are 4 on the ground, just kind of spilled out from it, and 4 in the pouch. And
Okay.
I have already prepared sling bullets, so they're now in your inventory.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chuman mentions over to Makayla and Pastiche. I think he's okay in there.
I mean, Xalia is still holding. I assume this hasn't been too long.
No, it's been maybe
Like a couple seconds, probably.
it's been about a minute for Twig to
Oh.
bring down and look at the count or look at the packs with the candle.
Well, it didn't sound like he was drowning, so Killer just kind of shrugs.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
I'm not sure if we necessarily hear him drowning with the waterfall.
I'm just gonna like tug on the rope a little bit, like, hey, are you still there?
To Chuman's point, it is a roaring waterfall.
Okay. Upon Pastiche saying that, Makayla's gonna start casting mold earth and start making a small little tombstone.
Wow. Upon feeling the tug, Twig is gonna try to yell across the waterfall. I'm fine over here, but it doesn't seem too magical back here.
Can I hear that?
No.
Okay. She's gonna continue pulling on the rope.
Oh, Makayla,
They're getting more insistent.
when Xalia starts tugging more on the rope, Makayla, you can see those blips of detect magic, since that just kind of you're able to see it through the waterfall because it's not sufficient material enough to block it. You see these blips of magic kind of like move slightly upwards, and then they're moving around the alcove.
Oh, well, something's moving. I do hope it's...
How hard are you tugging on the rope, Xalia?
It is getting... I mean, it's not like full strength panic, but it's like, hey, it's insistent.
Alright, Twig is gonna... He's gonna call out, not knowing that he can't be heard, that he's gonna start coming back. He's gonna brace himself again and start walking back across the waterfall.
Okay. Make an athletics check with advantage.
advantage.
All right.
Oh, double nines.
Okay.
How dead is he?
With 12 nines, that gets doubled, right?
What if we did make a roll like that?
Mario Party rules.
Mario Party?
Yeah, Mario Party was.
All right, Twig, you holler out to the group, announcing your return, and brace yourself to head through the waterfall. And the strength that it took to get through the first time is not here the second time. And the waterfall pounds you into the ground, and you suffer 3 bludgeoning damage. You're forced to your knees, and are able to maneuver out only with Xalia's help, and she's like dragging you kind of like halfway below water as you finally make it out of below the waterfall. And also
Xalia's gonna kind of, scrabble, try to pick you up with a little bug with their own tar hands. Like, okay, you're okay.
And also your your ball one of your bags of ball bearings and are just washed away. Like it basically explodes, and it's all over the bottom of the water now, and also your string.
Were those the things that I saw as magical?
No, you see the magic is still on Twig's person.
Okay.
Did you say my string?
Also, your well, no, that wouldn't make sense. Your string's still there, so
Okay.
never mind.
I like that string.
Yeah, you may keep it for now.
Seeing Twig sort of wash ashore, the kid was gonna like very quickly shove the that like small little like tombstone she was making like back into the dirt as if nothing ever happened, and wade out to the what's the term? Washed up Twig.
The castaway Twig, maybe.
Castaway, yeah.
All right.
Gamer Twig.
All right, Twig. As you are beached,
Beach, that's the word.
kind of like sputter a bit. You are twice soaked, twice sopping wet. Your clothes can never hope to be dry. But by golly, you have pilfered somebody's backpack, and you have a pouch of rocks.
Makayla kind of
There are the
Nice to
tar
pull
monster
them
trying to patting you down.
like leans down and like
Hi,
holds,
Sigma.
taps your back and prestidigitates you a little bit warmer, though you'll never be truly dry.
Twig is like
Pesky.
coughing and hacking up water.
Pastiche approaches Twig and holds out a potion of healing. I think you're going to need this more than I will.
Amy,
Twig
are you
will,
warm?
Twig will wave them off and say, "Thank you, but I should be fine. I know that may have seemed reckless, but trust me, it was worth it. I got some rocks." And he's gonna produce the sling bullets.
Yeah. So,
Makayla just raises an eyebrow. Like,
Check
what?
these out.
all right, Twig. So, yeah, you have this monumental find. It is a dark brown leather pouch with a it's a dirty rope drawstring for now. But you open it up and show everyone your treasure, and inside, yeah, everyone, these are extremely smooth, well polished bag of rocks, as Twig describes it. Some of the more distance or long distance combat or combat minded individuals might be able to figure out that these are sling bullets, or at least that's what their intention is. And Makayla, you see that each of these sling bullets are wrapped in a magical aura. And then Twig, now that you're no longer messing about behind the waterfall, as you handle these things, you can feel them slightly tingle with magic.
Pastiche is going to grab one of the rocks between two claws and inspect it.
Okay. It is. Make a nature check. Yeah, make a nature check.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chuman speaks up, not knowing about the magic. I fail to see the worth it portion here.
Okay. A 17 nature check is actually pretty.
Thalia's gonna take a rock to look at.
Okay. You may also make a nature check.
She's not making a nature check, she's just looking at it.
Okay. It is. These are gray or black in color, Xalia, and they're extremely smooth, like I said. Mega
How does it
smooth.
taste?
How does it taste? It tastes kind of dusty.
Okay.
It does taste smooth as well.
Okay.
And it's got like
She's gonna lick it.
it's got like an oily sensation to it.
Okay. Yeah, like she's gonna lick it. There's gonna be like a black tar tongue coming out of this null skull.
Yeah.
She's gonna lick it.
All right, so so Pastiche, getting to your nature check, you're able to figure out that these are like they're exceptionally made. Like they've been heated, treated. They're I don't want to say like they're steel, but they're as hard as any metal that you've found and interacted with. Hold on, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm looking at really hard rocks.
Diamond.
Who knew it would be crazy enough to go after rocks?
Things you've become an expert on in while DMing rocks. We'll call it fluorite. That sounds fun.
Okay. Pastiche just stares at this rock for a moment, turns it over, looks at each side, puts it back in the bag.
Actually, hand me one of those.
Twig will do so.
Makayla instantly just chucks it at a wall.
Hey, careful!
Alright, roll a d4.
You know what I went through to get those?
Sometimes the best way to find out what it does is simply use it.
Okay, what'd you get?
Just that one.
A 4, okay.
She just like the same sort of like side throw, like from I don't know how you describe it. Like I guess how like the stereotypical like ninja star throw from like the side.
Yeah, just
It's kind of how she like tosses it, because that's how she tosses the stones. So
okay. Alright, so Makayla, get a load of this. When you fling it to the side, you see like a little burst, like a circular burst of magic. It's very small, but like around the sides of the sling bullet. It puffs against the rock, and for a moment you get the sense that like you get the sense of knowledge of like where that cavern wall's location is? Question mark. But then it immediately dissipates because it's not a creature.
Oh, there's definitely some magic on them.
Also, that sling bullet no longer glows.
Oh, at all. Okay.
Is that only for Makayla?
So yeah, I think that as in like no more magic.
Everyone can see like the spectacle that just happened and like the magic kind of like puffing as it is expended, but only Makayla sees that it is no longer glowing.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be more one-time use, though. She goes and like picks it up. Suppose you could still use it, just magic's no longer there.
You have a sling
And
bullet.
she'll just like hold on to it, I guess. No point. She won't put it back in the bag considering it's not used up.
Okay. You can grab a sling bullet from the companion.
Sure. She just sort of shrugs. Well,
Sigma, I'm well
worthy
aware.
salvage?
I'm sorry, I
Kinda
couldn't hear you.
Sorry.
Makayla kind of just says like, suppose a worthy salvage to someone, and she just kind of shrugs and starts walking back up towards the ruins. She's kind of just tossing the one hand on the staff, the other hand just like tossing the sling ball.
Twig will start putting the bag of rock and his rope back in his backpack and start walking up with the rest.
Alright.
Chuman walks with and mentions, I do hope you find some use for those sling bits.
Of course they're useful. If they weren't, then I would have done that for nothing, and I don't like that.
Okay. Toka and Mouse. Well, Mouse kind of like claps for you, Twig's like, you found something cool. I love when that happens. Toka just kind of sniffs. Enjoy your trip behind the waterfall.
It was refreshing.
You have made Toka laugh. Zoaz pipes up. My friends, let's continue onward, yes?
I guess. They will follow.
Alright.
Hopefully your curiosities are satisfied. As we enter this unknown tomb.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
I suppose.
Who knows what could be behind these doors, but I guess it's no waterfall, so...
Alright, so as you enter this section, this looks like a caved-in antechamber. The floor is green, algae-covered stone. It definitely worked like it's laid down in bricks. Amid the rubble are smashed pots and urns. There's shards of pottery strewn about the floor, the muck of whatever they once held mixing in with the dust and rock. There are 4 intact urns, 2 to the northwest and 2 to the southeast, as you would stand in the middle. They stand resolutely amidst the rubble. Mosaics cover the walls. Their colors are faded, and the images are scrambled by lost tiles. There is a shallow stream that fills a divot in the floor, and that flows to the east down a staircase that descends a few flights out of view. There is a stone slab caked in dirt that blocks the way to the north. However, Makayla, you see something interesting as soon as I find you in my list. I am passing Makayla a note.
Cool.
Whoa, passing notesy.
All of my Discord had bleeped at once.
So,
Wait.
Ma-
Sorry, you can keep going, sorry. That was like...
Makayla stops for a moment and She goes silent as she looks around. What does the rest of the party do?
Chuman's actually gonna look down here and see if he can see anything from his position.
Okay.
Sorry, it is actually time to feed the cat.
Make a perception check, Mr. Chuman.
Perception, ho!
Okay.
Ah.
The flight of stairs descends down. You're able to make out like the top of it, and it kind of like crumbles down. And with your dark vision, you're able to see that the top of the staircase has also kind of crumbled. So you're not able to see past that, but also not really able to make out other details beyond that because of how far the staircase descends, and it goes out of view. So you know that it goes down at least like 15, 20 feet or something. You will be able to see what goes down for a, if you were to descend.
Okay.
Twig is gonna check out the mosaics and see if there's anything interesting there.
Okay. As Toka brings Mouse and the torch along with them, you're able to see this as he shines the light on them. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me first.
Okay.
Cool. Now make a history or religion check.
Give me just one moment. I feel like history is the wrong choice.
It's not history.
All right, so it is Twig with Toka holding the torch. It is like, just the wear and tear of these. It's extremely difficult to make out the mosaics. But what you can see, what you can pick out, the scrambled, like missing tiles and the faded colors, you can see that they seem to be depicting perhaps feats of excellence or prosperity, but it's difficult to determine who or what. Every now and again, you see a large wing, images of people, coins.
Makayla kind of
And grim skeletons.
looks like it would look like she's sort of almost like in some sort of like trance as she's sort of staring distantly into this mosaic, and would how would she do this? She'd start using prestidigitation to moving up to it and slowly trying to. It's not perfect because the scope of prestidigitation is pretty narrow, but she'd try and fill in certain gaps of color or imagery, certain markings that would be supposed to be there that are sort of missing. Try and fill in the gaps.
Makayla, these mosaics are complete.
Wait, they are? Oh,
There's
okay.
nothing missing.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
However, as far as gaps go, there is a stone slab that's caked in dirt that blocks the way to the north. There is a hole there, but you can see that it's simply a gate. And prestidigitation doesn't really kind of...
Sure. Sorry, I misunderstood what the situation was. Sorry. Hold on. But never mind.
And then earlier I forgot to... I neglected to mention there's a stone slab that's caked in dirt that blocks the way to the north, and then the stream goes down the divot. Sorry about that. That's too all. before moving your token, please tell me what you're doing. It's always more
So-
important to tell me what you're doing before you move.
You're right. Chuma's gonna get a closer look, see if he gets further down.
Okay. You can see that it does descend further down, maybe like 15 or 20 or so feet. If you're just trying to make another look, you can make another perception check. If anyone's helping you, perhaps you can make it with advantage.
Sorry, what we're looking at here?
Chuman's checking out this cool stairway.
Pastiche will follow behind Chuman and help out.
Okay.
Let me just roll another.
Yeah, roll another one.
Something, another one.
Okay. For some reason, I just noticed that the plugin that we had that adds the D4 to those rolls is either off or not working, and we're not gonna fuss with it now. So just remember for perception rolls, just throw another D4 in there, Chuman.
Okay.
And we'll figure it out after this session. A 16. All right, so you can see that the stairs are losing their integrity as it goes further down, and water is lapping up on a couple steps. So you know that it gets it gets a little flooded down there. A 16 will also let you hear a profound sploosh, as if something has like either like hit or suddenly like sunk under the water, just like
Oh yeah, I could have done that. Seems these stairs have seen better days. I'm not sure if we could go down these without some difficult terrain.
Out of curiosity, was Xalia given any dark vision from Zoaz?
no. The ones that benefited from Zoaz's dark vision are Toka, Makayla, and Pastiche.
That's unfortunate.
As you ponder this, Xalia, perhaps wondering like who all got the blessing again, your gaze turns to Zoaz. You can see him just kind of looking at these Mazoacs. Or Mazoacs? What the heck? These mosaics on the walls, kind of rubbing his chin, holding his staff out to the side.
Xalia is going to. Hold on, does she have a? She does not have. She has physical spells, so she can use those. She's gonna walk up to Zoaz and kind of poke him on the shoulder, and then wave in front of her eyes.
Ah. My friend, you startled me a bit. I was lost in thought. As he looks at the null skull, tar dripping creature. Can I help you?
She's gonna wave it, like point, do the eye point thing into her null skull eye sockets, and then point at the dark like staircase down.
Oh, I am
And
afraid
kinda tilt her head.
I'm afraid that is a blessing given by the light of Selene. I can't do that many times. I have already done it this day. My apologies, certainly.
She's gonna, literally deflate a little bit. And then just kind of nod, grabble over here. Use a 3rd level slot to spider climb himself and go down along the ceiling.
Okay. So let's see. So you're crawling upside down on the ceiling as it goes down the stairs?
Yep.
Okay. As you do this, and Mouse being held like a bag of luggage by Toka, she kind of like waves her hands at you guys. But there's a door right here, you guys. But Let's see here. Xalia, you do... you're able to make it all the way down. It's easy going as you are moving on the ceiling. But the lighting situation very quickly becomes difficult as you move out of the light of the torch. You do see and kind of smell that there's a lot of water. It's definitely standing water, so it's like a very rocky, stagnant water smell. You can see that it does cover the lowest steps of stairs, and it has flooded this room partially. But beyond that, without light, you're not able to make out much. But you do hear after a few moments of staying there, you do hear a sploosh.
From where?
Oh, just from this room. It kind of echoes around, so it's difficult to make it out. But go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay, 1 second. Attributes, perception.
Oh no.
Okay. Due to the echoing of the chamber, it's difficult to pinpoint, but it does sound more distant, so it's not close to your position.
Okay. She's going to scrabble back up to the rest of the party and just kind of not wet. What'd she do? I think she's gonna sulk. She wants to go down there, but she can't see.
Unfortunate. Question: why is Makayla able to read the labels of these mosaics that no one else can? Are they in a language, or?
Well, nobody looked at them, but
Oh, okay.
well, except for Twig, but you can make a history or religion check.
I mean, okay. I typed in /history.
I say that should work.
I wonder if it does actually.
Okay.
It's not that far off.
All right, Makayla. For what you ascertain, it's difficult to understand why everyone seems to be ignoring these grand displays that you can see. They're almost just dismissing it. So that's curious, but each of these mosaics does have something of a meaning. They're like something of stories that you've heard as a young girl.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I got that. I was just sorry. Continue.
And let's see here.
I guess I'm just trying to. So there's no. So I wouldn't be able to tell, like, why I seem to see it differently than Twig does.
No, to you this is normal. Like you see a normal scene, and
Okay.
you do not realize that no one else does.
Yeah, I get that. Twig, I guess you would hear Makayla start to just sort of say, as if she's reading something while looking at the mosaics. Sleep, slumber, the dream will awake to reality. And then she'd sort of turn, stare at something for a little while, or like a different part of the mosaic. Say, opportunity calls, the ruler answers. And then finally she'd turn north towards, I guess, the door.
Yeah.
And she'd finally say, to earn your place, to learn your memories on the page, and wave your destiny churn, and waves of your destiny churn. What does that mean? She would say that out loud, like the "what does it mean" part. She still looks like transfixed, as if she's looking at something far off, but she's clearly just looking at like the mosaics in the walls.
Did you find anything interesting, Makayla?
She'd kind of snap out of it a little bit and look at you, and like she'd gesture at the mosaics. These are, well, these mosaics, they have some significant meaning, but definitely ancient. I guess she'd kind of sign. I suppose no one else would have the personal connection to potentially what they would be saying. These are eerily similar to the tales of, well, the tales of the history of my tribe. The imagery is telling the story of, well, God, wait, I'm forgetting names. No, not now.
You see Makayla kind of trail
No,
off for
just
a moment.
you just see like the computer spinning circle floating. Just mind brace. God, literally every proper noun just gone from my head.
Which one are you looking for?
I understand. This must be difficult.
All of them, pretty much. Hold on. Let me like pull out like deeper notes. Fuck.
You can see Makayla kind of get frustrated with herself for a moment.
Mm-hmm. What did Cyril have like a name? I'm trying to remember if Cyril had a name before it was Cyril,
No, it's
like
just,
before it got ruined.
no, Cyril is the name.
Oh, okay. It was always its name. Okay, I was thinking it had something different. I was trying to remember that. This is the sort of exodus of my people from Cyril. A great, terrible power was unleashed. Some believe it is said is the cause of the God. What is the storm, right? Or what did we end up calling the sort of phenomena that surrounds
The morning.
the morning? We released the power that caused the morning, and our people fled the doomed city. That is what this depicts. Or rather, an interpretation of it.
And Twig nods and says, I see. Do you think this place has any sort of significance to your people?
To earn your new place, to live memories, turn the page in the waves of your destiny churn.
Around this time, Pastiche is going to loop back around and start checking out this door slab thing.
Okay. Pastiche, please make an investigation check. Make an architectural ruin check. So this is a stone slab that functions as a door. it's clear that it is a door.
Okay.
And it has sort of a giant, kind of chiseled gap in the center, where it's difficult to tell what the center image is of. Below it is something of a gap. It is looks like it could be a container, or it's some kind of recess that could hold something. A 12. You can see that the image is slightly square. The image that's kind of got this gap in it.
Right.
But it's too dashed to figure out beyond that. There's this kind of like greenery that's growing over the top of it. You can tell that there's like a little draft to the sides and to the bottom of it. So this definitely opens somehow. Or at least there's something beyond it.
Pastiche is gonna try pushing it.
Okay. Make a strength check.
In the meantime, Chuman comes back over to the party.
Question mark.
Alright, Pastiche, you push and push and push with all your might. You do feel it budge a little bit, but that's when it hits whatever locking mechanism is keeping it in place, and you're unable to push it further. So like it goes a little bit, and then it resists.
Okay.
You kind of relax, puff for a bit, catch your breath.
Well, it is locked.
Impressive that it lock is held for what must be hundreds of years. Potentially upwards of 600. It might be some sort of riddle. Perhaps we needed some sort of key. What's in this corner? What are those, like actual things, or are those just like parts of the map?
Yeah, part of the original description of the room. There are 4 urns. I'll go ahead and describe the whole room again. So this is a caved-in antechamber. The floor it's got like this stone, these bricks of stone that are laid in it. It's green, algae covered. There's rubble that appears to have smashed different pots and urns. There's shards of pottery that's strewn about the floor. And then in the smashed ones, it looks like they've got like some kind of muck of whatever they were once holding, and it's just mixing with the dust in the rock. There are 4 intact still urns. There's 2 to the northwest, and then there's 2 to the southeast, and they just stand there in the corners, unmoved by rocks and boulders. And then there's this shallow stream that starts from the middle of the room, and it kind of just fills a divot, flows to the east down the staircase. And then there's the stone slab that is caked in dirt that Pastiche has rubbed off and kind of like cleaned up a little bit during his investigation.
Are there any openings on the stone slab?
There is, yes. There is something of a gap on the bottom and on the right.
Well, it has the symbol of some sort of book with a question mark.
There's some riddle to this room. Maybe it has to deal with the urns, considering that 4 of them are still intact.
Minor miracle. I don't know. Nothing here suggested anything with urns. What do the indentations on the slab look like?
The indentations.
Like they're just like rectangles, you said?
Oh, on the stone slab there is a single recess. It is spherical.
Oh, okay.
Could Twig try peeking inside one of the intact urns to see if there's anything inside?
Sure. The urn is open. You peek over and look at it, and you're immediately hit with a sort of a rotten smell. It causes you to sort of like half gag, and then you take a breath, hold it, and then get a good look in it. And it's kind of like this just rancid, standing muck water. If you'd like to try to see past, that'll you'll have to call upon your adventuring abilities.
Would I be able to see if there's anything inside the water?
Make a perception check.
Perception.
Yeah, there's some stuff down there. Not able to make it past because it's really murky water. You'll have to get it out somehow. But it's just at the bottom.
Twig will turn to Makayla and say, "Do you think it would be okay if we emptied out one of these urns? I think there's something inside the water."
Makayla will like mock look around. I don't see any. I don't think they'll mind anymore.
All right.
The residents don't seem to care much about the decorum of the place.
Then Twig will carefully pour out the muck in one of the corners and see what's inside the urn.
Alright. So you upturn it. You just take the urn closest to the door, and you upturn it, and this sludgy, rotten muck smells terrible. Kind of gooey's out onto the ground. And for a moment, it triggers a certain reflex in your body where you would like to expel the contents of your stomach, but since you're not like sifting through it or anything like that or interacting directly with it, you manage to stomach yourself, and out slops. Let's see here. Eight looks like ancient coins. Looks like some very old mint of gold coins. So you get 8 gold. And also some gold teeth.
Well,
Chuman looks at the sludge with disgust and then speaks up. Well, I guess that doesn't have anything to do with the door. Pastiche, you weren't able to open it, were you?
No, there's a little give, but it's certainly locked.
Well, I suppose we've kept Xalia waiting long enough. Only one way forward, I guess. Nothing else appears to be in the room that we could use, so
Mouse pipes up.
maybe.
No stone unturned. You gonna give up after one?
I mean,
There's 3 more.
Twig nods and says, "She's right. There's gold in these things."
it was just like, it's kind of frustrated at that. Should be like, seems rather trivial. But if you insist,
Chuman breathes a long sigh of relief, knowing that more of the sludge is coming out of the urn.
just a relief.
At this point, Mouse starts fighting with Toka. Put me down, you big lug.
Pastiche is gonna conjure up a small reptilian hand
bowl.
and have it reach into one of these urns.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chuman is going to flip the other one.
Mouth limps forward to the north to the stone slab, and then Twig, are you also checking one? I noticed you were about to say something. I noticed your mic open.
Yeah, Twig is about to flip over the urn in the corner when he catches sight of Pastiche using their mage hand. And he says, "Oh," and Twig will also cast mage hand to reach inside the urn.
Alright.
Good idea.
So, working together, you extricate the contents of the excrement of these nasty urns filled with muck, and you together manage to pile, like you get all your stuff and then you bring it to the center of the room, kind of like wash it off in the stream, and together you find 22 ancient gold coins. There's like small bits of jewelry. You do find a curious larger object, one that seems to be a golden mask. It's overall triangle shaped. It's got flares around the forehead and then an angular chin. It's just an expressionless gold-plated mask. And then you also find a small pearl stone that is relatively, not relatively, that is just circular. It's a sphere in shape. So you've got a pearl, 22 gold, bits of jewelry, some more teeth, golden teeth, and a mask. And you can divvy that up however you like.
Well, I've been muted for a while. Oh well. Heap.
Teeth. Twig is going to add the 8 gold he found earlier to the pile to make the teeth.
Okay. And even 30.
Pastiche is going to hold up the mask, put it in front of their face at a distance, sniff slightly, squint, and leave it in the pile. And then start walking away.
Makayla kind of looks to. Actually, which one had the pearl?
It's still on the ground.
Sure. I mean, this is just like a small pearl, right? Just like a regular small pearl.
It was a. You can. It taking it in your hand, holding it, kind of like checking it out. It is a regular small pearl sphere.
Okay. Alright. Sorry, continue.
Chuman takes a couple other coins, about 7, and he grabs the gold teeth and says to Xalia, Xalia, would you care for...
Xalia is currently trying to feel her way around in the dark and the wet on the ceiling.
Alright, the Chuman mentions Xalia, but as soon as he turns to look and notices that she's not there anymore.
I feel like I'm seeing things that I shouldn't be seeing, given that I have dark vision. Do not have dark vision.
Yeah. I tried to create a... I'll explain that later.
Makayla looks back to Mouse and sort of
Points at the
sort of
door.
exhausted. Wait, is it pearl? Is the indentation that small? I thought it was bigger. I guess in my head I just imagined it would be like larger than a pearl size.
You take a look at the door, you take a look at the pearl, look at the door again, look at the pearl again. They're on the same size.
Okay. Because pearls are pretty small. Makayla would go and put the pearl in the door. Or try and like put it in that indentation and see what happens.
Alrighty. So a couple things happen. One, nothing. Two, when you touch the door,
Mm-hmm.
The resplendent golds and royal purples and kind of like glittering that you've been seeing so far, Makayla, all of it kind of crumbles and into dust and falls off, and just is now caked around the walls, and the mosaics crumble and lose their tiles, and everything is now as what everyone else sees. You put the pearl in. This happens when you touch the door. And when you put the pearl in, there's a moment of nothing, and then the door kind of slides and turns away from you, and you can now see into the room. And the door opens.
Hundreds of years old, and they hide a key in a vase.
Some things never change.
You might all want to see this. She kind of exclaimed down the direction of the stairwell. The door is open.
Pastiche looks back, looks down the hall, and says, Xalia, and points down the hall.
You hear a faint skittering echoing in the back.
Right. Which brings us to Xalia. So there's a camera cut, and we can see like Xalia's null skull and like monochrome. She's skittering around on the walls. So it's very dark. You can get the sense that the chamber is large and large enough to cause an echo, but you cannot see anything because it is dark. The walls are smooth and cool. It feels kind of humid in here. It definitely smells of stagnant water. And there's a... Are you high or are you low?
She's gonna probably stay along the walls, trying to feel out the circumference of it, sort of deal.
Okay. If you're staying along kind of like close to the ground level, you immediately tell that the entire chamber is flooded.
Yeah.
Like no matter where you go, it's all water.
Alright. She's like, for now, try to stay above water. If she can't, she will start swimming.
Okay. It is. It's not high water. Like it doesn't flood the entire room. Do you go in the water?
If she doesn't find anything else, she will go in the water. Yes.
Scampering around, unable to see, you just maneuver around. Then you clamber in a direction in which you think is up, but it's actually down because you can't see. And you meet water, and then realizing, oh, this is the floor. You test it, and you can get the sense it's maybe, it's definitely deep. It's maybe, well, deep is relative, of course. It's the deepest water that you've seen in a cavern so far on this adventure. It's at least 2 feet deep.
Okay.
You do hear like another sploosh. The way it echoes and where you're maneuvering around, it feels like it's coming from the other side of a wall. But the wall is like the way it echoes. Xalia is a smart changeling. She studied forever. So like judging the acoustics, you're able to get the sense that it is occurring on the other side of like a collapsed wall or something like that.
She's going to hop in the water and go swimmy mode
Okay.
and try to find that collapsed wall.
Okay.
So now she's got like fucking tar fins or something.
All right. Let's see here. Let me turn off this thing, and then we'll move you here. So you managed to do that.
Okay.
Maneuvering around, you just find rock wall, and just kind of sticking to the wall, you're able to find the collapse where. Well, here I'll move you along so we can get the kind of figure it out kind of thing. Maneuvering around, you're able to kind of stay along the wall, and using the magic of your spider climb ability, pull yourself along easily. But it is definitely slow going as you're in the water and just swimming around. You do get the sense that you're absolutely not alone here. You can sense movement in this area, and you brush up against a stone structure. Like almost hit it because you can't see, but thankfully you're able to kind of like trip through some rocks, and there appears to be some sort of stone barrier, but that has been destroyed from the collapse.
Oh. Why did our sheet close? She's gonna kind of feel around on the collapse barrier to see if there's anything interesting happening.
Feel around on the, what was it?
The collapse barrier, like I assume that's this thing.
Okay. All right. As you do this, I would like you to make an investigation check with disadvantage.
There's no way I should have advantage here. She's fucking blind.
Yeah, disadvantage. But Xalia is still pretty good.
Good.
Alright. So you're feeling around, and you can feel that it has some sort of niche.
Huh?
And it's curious because it's some kind of divider wall, and you can sense the movement around the around the room that you're in, this chamber, and while you're feeling it, trying to get the sense of what it is, all it is just rock, but it is carved and worked stone, so it's smooth in places, but it's difficult to kind of ascertain what its purpose is, and then something bumps into you, just from the left side perhaps, and reaching out to touch it for a moment, you get the vague sense that it is, of course it's a floating object, but touching it, feeling it, it feels vaguely humanoid.
Okay. Can't you take it back?
Take it back? Like take the thing that bumped into you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
move it
take
back.
it back to the
Yeah, you can.
entryway, yeah.
Sure.
Alright, she's gonna do that.
Alright. Are you being careful about this or anything?
No.
Okay.
She's gonna, like, grab it and then just start swimming.
Okay. Well, I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
In the meantime, Chuman looks over to Pastiche.
Nope.
Yeah, you think we should probably go check her out. It's been quite a while since she's been down there.
This is all happening while you guys have been doing the earn thing. And at this very specific point, Chuman has this kind of like look at Pastiche moment and says that. At this exact moment, Xalia, you're dragging this object, this unknown object, through the water, and making her way back to the thing, or back to the entrance, and there is a blast of chilly, cold energy that washes over you and freezes the water in the immediate area, and you suffer 14 14 cold damage.
Ow!
Jeez.
And your speed has been reduced to 0 because that was bad, and also I need you to roll initiative.
Okay. She's going to be very loudly complaining now.
All right. Let's see here. Bloop.
Would we hear this from up here?
Yep, you guys hear this blast of cold, or this blast of arcane energy, just. You hear Xalia very loudly complaining, as she put it, with the sounds that she can muster from her null skull and tar body.
It's a lot fishier of a skull now.
That's right. My apologies. You did.
Yeah, she's longer and serpentine now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see. So that's what you guys hear. Xalia, you hear a whisper close to you, and that whisper says, "Intruder, you do not belong here. Be gone whence you came, when your journey ends, so that you can resume it here."
What was that last one?
So that you can resume it here, but in a whisper.
Okay. If she could minor illusion like a thumbs up sign, she would.
Alright. Let's see here, and let's see. So what's going to happen is there is a sensation of the water moving, and you feel like something moving up next to you, and a creature strikes out against you. You can feel these claws raking against your cheek.
Okay.
20 for a 20 to hit.
Yeah, she can't block that.
Okay. And
No.
he unfortunately does it again.
That one she can block,
Okay.
assuming she's awake.
Yeah. So you see this flash of turquoise energy rake across your cheek and get you with 8 necrotic damage.
That is -1 HP.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see here. Is that anything else special? No, it's just damage. Well, that completes combat.
Oh wait, no. I wanted to set it to -1, not take 1 off. What are you doing? Stop this.
Well, there's no negative HP, remember?
Okay, yeah.
It just puts you at 0 and you're unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Everyone else hearing this, what would you like to do?
Pastiche is gonna return Chuman's glance, and then start sprinting down the stairs.
All right, everyone can roll initiative, including
Chuman lights a torch and runs behind Pastiche. Hey, there's my crit.
Hey, nice crit.
The button.
Okay, and actually, I realized that everyone should have already been in initiative, which would be Zoaz runs forward, and Chuman, you'll have your turn after this. Alright, so go ahead, Chuman.
Okay, so I mentioned I was
Oh, that's right. So you're
popping
sprinting
a
forward.
torch.
You're doing a torch?
Yeah, I was making a torch
Okay.
so that you could see it further down.
Sure. I will get you a torch. One torch, sir.
Cool.
Okay, and let me get rid of these schwalls. Okay, so yep, you do that, and you can see that the flight goes down several steps. As you take a moment to light the torch, you can see Zoaz rush past you, and
And the torch will be the action, correct?
yes, it is an action to light a torch.
Okay. Let's see. Chuman surveys the area, little that he can see in the area. He's gonna notice two figures on the left side, and he's gonna mention to the party, to the left. There's two figures down here.
And the figure that you see, the figure that anybody can see in the dark vision, it's vaguely humanoid. It's kind of eerie looking as well. It seems to be natural, humanoid arrangement in limbs, but there's things floating next to it.
And let's see. He's going to use his crossbow to fire at the unidentified humanoid.
Used your action to light a torch.
Can I use it for a bonus? Or is that only action for the hand crossbow?
Bonus action for firing your offhand weapon is specifically only if you made the attack action with your main hand weapon.
Okay. Alright, that makes sense. Well then, that will be it. In my turn.
Okey-doke. Which brings us to Makayla.
I guess shit. Makayla would have been sort of slowly, cautiously walking into whatever this room was, and then hears the commotion, hears people running, and snaps around, snaps 180 degrees and just starts sprinting. Actually, she's gonna use Zephyr Strike. I'm gonna activate Zephyr Strike, and then actually no, I don't think that matters because I think no, never mind, that doesn't matter. She'll just sprint. So here, that's closing the door. And then 60 feet. There we go. And then she is, but she does activate Shillelagh.
Okay.
That is her turn.
Alright, which brings us to Pastiche.
Upon hearing Xalia's scream, Pastiche starts running down the stairs, and as soon as he catches sight of her, draws a circular motion in the air, and a portal appears over her head.
Hey!
She is unconscious, so cannot resist.
Oh. It's happening?
You say that with so much chagrin.
Uh-huh.
So much disappointment within it.
What? What do you mean?
I'll explain later. So, that portal's gonna come down over Xalia's body and move her over here.
Okie dokie. Zoop. Zoop. As this.
So you just kind of get a long tar skeleton thing just flump.
And this, yeah, just flump.
Very pitchy.
Right in front of Toka and Mouse. They're like, ah! Let's see here. Mouse will actually also join the fray, but she's going to have... she's going to share Toka's initiative.
And then Pastiche is gonna start heading back the other way.
There we go. Alright. Let's see here. Toka, when you... Sorry, not Toka. Pastiche, when you looked at Xalia and saw the other figure, also vaguely humanoid, as it turned towards you to see the source of the spell that was being cast. It's this eerily creepy sight. Everyone down there can see him, so yeah. It's vaguely humanoid. The overall body structure is fit. I'll use the word attractive. But where the head is, it seems to be sharding and bits and pieces.
What do you mean, bud?
It appears to be sharding, and like bits and pieces of like the top of the face are kind of like cascading and twirling around and just holding there in empty space, as if like, and part of its shoulders are crystals and going off over and just being held towards it. And what were you saying, Xalia?
I meant, what do you mean attractive but its head is sharding? What do you mean butt?
Oh, my
Yeah,
apologies.
got it.
And alright.
Is it like look like it's made of a material, like a stone or something, or?
Let's see here. Dark vision. Yeah, you can catch like
I
this.
have like a glimpse of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's made out of something that isn't flesh.
Okay. Just curious.
Let's see here. Mouse is going to rush up. Toka is going to take a defensive position and put up his dukes. He's going to put up his guard. Fists just covering his chin. Mouse is going to run up and fumble through her bag and see if she just still has her has her like medical kit or something. And then she's going to make a medicine check. But at disadvantage because she's exhausted, actually.
Oh, no.
barely. So Xalia is stabilized.
Imagine trying to medical care that.
You're right, she's gonna roll one more time.
Inspiration to give it like super disadvantage.
Twig, your turn.
Glancing back to see that Xalia is safe, Twig is going to... let me just double check this. Could I tell like roughly how deep the water is from here?
Roughly about 2 feet-ish deep, maybe 2.5. You can definitely ascertain that it would be slow going.
Okay.
Going through
Would I be able to make this movement?
going through it would be half your speed. You could jump on the rock, like, cause like this section here is not submerged, so you could like jump over there and then make your way over there.
Okay, I'll do that.
One question, actually.
Sure.
Because of Natural Explorer, that wouldn't slow down his movement, unless that only applies out of combat.
It only applies to that specific terrain, which is Underdark, or like caves and stuff. The water is what's slowing him down, rather than the cavern.
Okay.
Twig is gonna hop over to this rock and cast Hideous Laughter on Nevin.
Amazing. Alright, let's see how this works.
I don't know who you are, but you shall laugh with me.
Alright, so tell me about how your hideous laughter goes.
Twig's gonna pluck one of his own feathers, and it'll dissolve into dust as arcane power flows out towards Neves.
Towards this creature.
This creature.
Don't know their name yet.
I just named him.
Okay, you just named him. what a good name. Alright. You can see the creature kind of look at you, and some crystals that are sharding around their head kind of move around and then twist and turn, and it appears that your spell has no effect, as it seems to not care so much about your magic.
Alright. Could I put down the lantern here and draw my scimitar instead?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. Then Twig will do that, and that'll be my turn.
Is your lantern lit?
It was lit last session. I think it would still be active because it's 6 hours, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have been.
Okay. So
Yeah, it was lit in the last fight.
Cool. I'll give you some light. Oh, it's already there. All right, cool. In that case, I'm gonna turn on the cool little effect. Now it's watery and stuff.
Whoa.
That's what the effect that Xalia was seeing earlier. Just kind of this slight little ripple in the water.
Uh-huh.
I could only do it by making it a light. Let's see. At the end of your turn, Twig, this interesting creature that you can see in the light, you can see that it's got this faint blue sheen to him, and you can see some sort of glow in the center of the kind of like head cavity where it is. And at the end of your turn, it maneuvers a lithe arm towards these barrier dividing walls that you can now see hold something pretty interesting. Each of these ancient stone walls are lined with niches, and they're all holding roughly humanoid shapes that are wrapped in tattered linen. And then looking around, there's more than one of these grim parcels that are floating freely in the stagnant water. Reaches over a hand towards these divider walls, and this eerie turquoise color smoke drifts out of their fingertips as there is a whisper emanated from him. Your journey has ended. Rise and protect. And you get the sense that you get the sense of movement, and 4 of them seem to come to life. This one, hang on, this one, this one, this one,
Those images make them look like dwarvens.
and... Maybe they are. They're smaller, yeah. One of them's a dwarf. Alright. So at the top of the round, Chuman.
Seeing that Twig has placed the lantern down, Chuman is going to drop his torch and use the longbow to attack that weird humanoid
Yeah. That creature.
thing.
Yeah.
15.
Alright. A 22 is what you rolled, and yeah, that definitely hits. 15 on the die face plus your bonuses. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And because he could do a second attack,
Extra attack.
13.
13 does not hit though.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh, you already rolled damage. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
You knock an arrow into your longbow and then let it fly. It slams into the creature's form and then knocks part of its integrity away and just chisels off some stone and crystals, and just the arrow cascades into the cavern. But yeah, you definitely hit him.
Chuman's gonna step over one. Actually, he can't even see. I didn't think about that. That will be it.
Okay. Zoaz is going to, let's see here, look worriedly over at this this creature here, and then look over at the beings coming to life and like dislodging themselves from the barrier. Their restraints, they're holding niches, and he's going to look over to all. It's like, we may be fighting more than we anticipate. Should we leave, or perhaps I can call upon the Light of Selenite to make them turn and tail? And he does the Zoaz special, and the Zoaz special is Sacred Flame.
Oh.
So Zoaz?
Alright, unfortunately. Oh wait. It's two of them. Yeah. So the Light of Selenite apparently does not reach down here, and the Sacred Fire is dashed away by whatever watery magics this thing has. As Zoaz kind of like moves forward into the water. Let's see here. This one, you hear more kind of like sploop. These dudes are coming at you. This one is going to whisper, "There are more of you than anticipated, and you're able to harm me. I must retreat and notify my sister. And I need, let's see here, I need Makayla, Twig, and Zoaz to make a strength saving throw. And then
Wait, where did your +3 come from?
I have proficiency in strength saving throws because I think Rangers just have that.
What a counterbalance option.
all right, Twig and Zoaz. Makayla, you are able to evade this as you see the water churning into a whirlpool, and there's a small bead of water that is produced from the middle of this whirlpool. The water, the bead grows and grows until it wraps and pulls Twig and Zoaz together into it, and they are now trapped in this large sphere of water. Makayla, you are actually pushed back because you resist the effect. So you're like here-ish.
Okay.
And Twig and Zoaz are restrained. Dun, 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 dun. Trying to see if that does anything else. Nope, just restrained. And also, you're 10 feet off the ground.
Cool.
And there is a sploosh. And the creature disappears from view. He appears to sink in the water. And you hear another sploosh, and you can see them in the torchlight and the reflecting, glaring water that they have moved far away. And Xalia, roll me a 1d4.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you in 4 hours.
Sounds about right.
Makayla, 2 of your companions have just been swallowed up by this orb of water, and they are trapped in it. They're struggling, pounding against the edges, but they cannot break free. What would you like to do as you see some nasty dudes that are coming to life? Question mark.
Is it 2 separate orbs, or is it one
It's one
large
big
one that covers? Okay, well, that's good, because the only thing worse than one bubble is 2. Makayla kind of, she clicks her tongue, seeing whatever that is retreat. And she just take out she'd just try and hit whatever this bubble is. She's just trying to swing at it, try and see if it could be sort of disrupted with physical blunt force, I guess.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Make a big swing,
Yeah, make a big old swing. Big old swing.
A 1.
Now with a natural 1.
Luck.
If we did critical fumbles, it would actually suck whatever you did in, or whatever you used in, but we don't. So
Man.
it just kind of you blam into the watery sphere with your weapon, with your stick,
Mhm.
and it makes a dent, but it jettisons it bounces off.
Let's try it again. I got 2 more. There we go.
All right.
Try and more a stab at it with the
Okay.
head of the hole.
Using standard physics, you concentrate the force onto a single point, and sure, I'll let I'll let the next person that tries to escape do so with advantage.
All right. Guess that's my turn.
Okay.
Oh, can I move past it, or am I?
You can move past it.
Or is it
It's
a
hovering
physical wall?
10 feet in the air,
Oh, okay.
so they are aloft, and you can move. Yes. Going into the water, moving. For every 1 foot, it's 2 feet, so it's just difficult terrain in the water because it's big.
I guess I'd move 2 steps, it's 10 feet forward, just to be. Yeah, I'll just move there. And have my turn.
Which brings us to Pastiche.
Pastiche turns back, sees most of the party approaching the water, and says, You people want to fight that thing in its abode? Are you crazy?
Not really, but I'd rather keep these whatever minions are away from our bound fellows.
Pastiche sighs.
Twig yells something back, but you
Retreat.
can't hear it.
I think there's not much of a choice now.
You can back up, but once they're free.
Pastiche is going to give a quick flick of his brush and launch some acid paint at these losers.
Yo,
Wow.
hit him with the loser too.
Oh,
Alright,
Well,
so
one of them a loser.
The call of losers.
one of them is not a loser. So the acidic paint warbles through the air, bounces off the gleaming, glistening forehead of one of their masks, and blops onto another one, and actually gets super got. And yeah, he's ouchie.
Nice.
Well done.
Pastiche is gonna back up again. And that's my turn.
Okay. Mouse, not able to do much in her state, is just going to fuss over Xalia, trying to make sure that she's breathing as best as she can. It's a little confusing though, because Mouse is not experienced in administering first aid to a skeletal, fishy, tar changeling.
Gook.
I think you're allowed to say aid this.
Oh, well. Let's see here. Sploosh, sploosh, sploosh. These creatures that are wearing these golden masks over their faces and adorned in various tattered linens maneuver wade through the water towards you guys. Tulkas takes a step forward. What is occurring? I hear battle. And then he sees Zoaz, like he sees this water, he sees like this sphere of water holding Zoaz. Then he just stops talking. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then moves forward. And he looks to Chuman and takes the dash action. And then he looks like he gets under it and takes a stance. He looks like he's about to punch it. Let's see here. Sploosh. Sploosh, sploosh. One's dangerously close to you, Makayla, as it wades and slowly walks this way. Twig.
Hey, can you like move like 5 feet closer to me so I can smack you with that opportunity attack? That would be great.
Which brings us to Twig, trapped in the watery sphere, held aloft 10 feet above this rock. What would you like to do?
Would I be able to try to escape the sphere?
Yes, you may. It is a strength saving throw. You can do so with advantage from Makayla's pointed puncturing.
Don't worry, I won't squander this advantage.
Let's see. Unfortunately,
Okay,
11 is not enough.
I would like to use my inspiration
Go
to
for it.
not squander that advantage.
Oh no!
Unfortunately,
I
a
use
6
my
is
Does
I
a
use
six-
my
does a six
inspiration
save?
and
All right. Unfortunately, you pound on the water, this sphere of water that's holding you up. You just touch it, try to push on it, try to like hamster ball it a bit. Nothing's working. You're held fast and restrained.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to make a rude gesture to the nearest wanderer.
Okay. Make an intimidation check.
of course
Whoa.
Oh, excellent! You are extremely rude. Probably the rudest you've ever been.
He is 10 feet in the air.
Yeah. From aloft, you you inform this wanderer where they can place it.
A turn well spent.
At the end of the round, 3 arcs of energy land on 3 more of these grim parcels that are shackled to the wall, and they detach themselves. It looks like they want to say something to you. Which brings us to Chuman.
Let's see. The creature that initially summoned him, he's still in the area, right?
Yeah, you do ascertain
Okay.
that he's still in the area. You know where he is. You hear kind of like approximately where he is. I'm not sure if you can see directly. No, you could probably like see the top of his like little crystal shardy head.
Right.
He's behind a wall.
Is this portion right here considered the wall, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Draw. So yeah, this is a wall, and this is also a wall.
And he's hiding behind that. All right, cool.
Yes.
Let's see. Is the water orb that is restraining Zoaz and Twig? It's not like drowning them or anything, is it? It's just restrained.
You take a look at it, and it seems to be of a particular magic where it is not immediately going to drown them. How beneficial, right?
Perfect.
I appreciate it.
Chuman is going to step over, since Toka is right in front of him, and he takes 2 of his arrows, pulls them together simultaneously, and he fires at both of these guys.
Oh man, you're so cool. Do it. Alright, well. The odd arrangement as you fire, one of the arrows goes wide, but you do manage to hit the second one.
It's almost great.
Alright. Ping, splat, and then watery noises as one of them goes down.
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't swap over to a hand crossbow for a bonus action.
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Because of how 2-weapon fighting works is to trigger it, you have to have in your hand 2 light weapons.
Right. Okay. That's it then.
Okay. You can hear, like, as you fell this this drifting body, it does kind of like let out a little death gargle. One of his masks flies off because your arrow hits it. Just ping, and then zoop, zoop, zoop. It's slowly coming this way. All right, let's see here. Surely he.
That's the Makayla's weapon opportunity.
Very close. Let's see here. Zoaz. Let's see. Zoaz would probably jump into the water. Sploosh. And as he's doing so, he's yelling out to Sone, "Oh, light of the moon, turn these wandering souls astray." And then he twirls his staff above his head and then slams it down into the water, and it ejects through the obsidian shards that are dangling and being held aloft in his walking staff that he's had. He is going to attempt to turn undead, because these are clearly undead. So...
Was Zoaz restrained?
Oh, that's right. I'm stupid. I'm absolutely stupid. He's instead going to not do that. And
You could just imagine Toka punched it all the way out.
Toka punched it. Yeah, alright, so the DM's an idiot, and instead Zoaz is going to do it from there. He still does that, but he hits the bottom of the watery sphere. Instead of being really cool.
I mean, it's still pretty cool to do that from inside a floating bubble.
I like to imagine he still tries to say the incantation and prayer, and it's just like, you know, trying to speak underwater.
Yeah,
Just
it's
bubbles.
So that I can still hear.
I can just only think about gurgling noises as he's trying to say the incantation.
Gargle, gargle, gargle. Alright, so boop, boop, boop. This one. And... Okay. So, with the shining light of the moon, sloosh, sloosh. Sloosh, 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 and sloosh. This one rolled much more. And then... there is a shining light of warm, soothing moonlight that emanates from this watery sphere that Zoaz is trapped in, and it actually obliterates many of these walking, waiting undead creatures heading towards you. And some of the grim parcels that were still hooked to the wall are also obliterated with these cracks of light that break it apart and just break it down as they float through the water afterwards. There appears to be one still remaining as it ambles towards you. And then just Zoaz turns to you all, points at, or turns to the rest of the party, and then points at the remaining drifting wanderer, and just says, and then that's his turn. At the end of... Okay, so this brings us to Dude. This creature, this crystallized, shardy creature, makes a sploosh and leads you all with the whisper.
Hello. Alright, cat.
Meow. Meow.
I feel like if there's a certain tone of voice that I take, you can just tell I'm talking to Sigma. Hey.
Let's see here. I'll actually move the sphere.
Oh no.
And you're held even higher in the air above this water. And then he sploosh and then dips out of sight, and you don't hear a second sploosh, so you get the sense that he's exited the area, and he leaves you with a whisper. This is your final warning. Which brings us to Xalia, who is incapacitated. Xalia, you dreaming about anything?
She's probably not having some very good dreams right now, given her body is still very likely in panic mode. So, yeah, probably just about being chased in dark places. You know, the usual.
Okay.
That's a very unfortunate usual. Is that like a noun for usual? I don't know, like a usuality? Is that a word?
Let's see here. Which brings us to Makayla. You can see that Zoaz has, from his lofty prison, from his watery prison, has obliterated most of the immediate danger. There is one still wading through the water to you. What would you like to do?
Sorry, I guess because it's only 6 seconds, but are Twig and Zoaz actually able to breathe within the water prison? Is it just like a bubble, or the actual water?
They seem like they are able to function and remain alive and not drown.
Okay, neat. Alright, well, I'll just sort of,
What a benevolent spell, right?
yeah. Use some magic stones and, try and take out the last one.
Okay.
This last.
Go ahead.
Whatever.
16 hits.
16. Nice. And I attack again.
Yeah, 13 hits too.
Nice.
13 just barely hits. Like it just barely cracks their mask there. All right, yeah, this thing is
Total
destroyed.
16 damage.
you bonk it. You bonk it on the forehead. The rock goes straight up and then bonks it again on its way down. And even though that's like, absolutely not how the spell works, that's what happens. And it like caves like this little crater on the mask as it falls down and submerges beneath the water. And he's dead. Again. He's re-dead. Alright, which brings us to the end of the combat.
Okay, we'll kind of like go up to Twig, up to like the aqua prison and sort of try and communicate through it. Like, are you okay in there? Can you breathe?
You can see Twig. Well, actually, would Twig be able to hear that?
Yeah,
Can you hear
hear
it? Like, I'd be like right up against it, trying to like speak.
You can see Twig nodding.
It's very muffled, but yeah, you can hear and understand.
Okay.
We'll say that, go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
I'm like,
Oh.
See, just don't help Twig. He has this on his own.
Alright, Twig, you managed to break through. And as Makayla is talking to you, and you're just like kind of like pressing against the edge of the sphere, there's a moment where like your repeated banging attempts, your wing goes through and like your claws pierce it, and then you just kind of like fall out of the sphere, like head forward, and then you splash into the water, and you're soaked again.
The second time today.
Makayla, I guess, and go over to Zoaz. Like, she'd try and, I guess, would it be possible to like push this her staff into the like aqua prison as like something he can grab onto and like try and like pull him out?
Sure, that'll be a strength save with advantage. Hey, natural 20. Thanks, Makayla.
There we go. Yay!
You pull him out, and there's a emanated from Zoaz as he is pulled towards you, Makayla. Very narrowly misses the stairs, and he is also soaked in the water. He is, heaving. Thank you, Makayla.
You're welcome. And she'd then turn around, like she'd look at you two over, and then sort of nod. It's like, okay, you're good, and start sort of moving quickly to Xalia, sort of saying, like, she'd say, "How is she?" To, I guess, Toka and Mouse and everyone else that was in that area.
Toka will mention there was no danger here. Nothing attempted to assail this one. Mouse. Looks like she did a good job. Yeah, Toka kept us all right, but I think she's gonna be okay. She's still breathing. You can see that Mouse is kind of fretting. I don't have any powers like you guys do. I checked my bag. I had some medical gear as well, but it all broke when I fell. So I've got nothing. I'm sorry.
Chuman turns towards Pastiche and mentions that you still have that potion.
Indeed. Pastiche pulls out a potion of healing. And administers it to Xalia.
Oh, thank goodness. Xalia, the taste of magical artificial cherry rouses you and defrosts you a bit. As Pastiche and anybody that's looking at Xalia, you can see that she's got bits of ice kind of encasing portions of her body, and she's got this nasty kind of claw strike wound across her cheek. Her serpenty, scully cheek. You can see that it kind of melts the ice a bit. There's still a bit of like frost hanging off of you, Xalia. Your cheek kind of burns, but it's definitely not bleeding anymore.
He's going to, upon becoming conscious, sit bolt upright and immediately scrabble, like run straight backwards. Fire climb isn't active anymore, but she's gonna act like it is, and then just kind of panic a little bit more when it isn't.
We are safe now, Xalia.
You can't really see a look in her eyes because she doesn't exactly have eyes right now that you can see. But she seems to be collecting herself and looking around and calming down. She's still trying to climb the wall.
No.
It's alright. Whatever that was, it fleed. For now, at least. It seemed like it moved through water, so if we stay off the water, reasons to believe that we should be fine. Are you okay, Xalia?
She will pat herself down real quick and give a quick nod. And then kind of walk up to Pastiche and Makayla and just kind of briefly bow to both of them as best she can with her fucking fish serpent skull with skeleton body right now.
This is probably... I feel like... This is probably like the most... maybe not the most, but like probably like up there in one of the more like surprised Makayla has been in like response to something you've done. Yeah, just wasn't expecting that.
The bow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a normal thing. She's expecting the unexpected at this point, so now just like a normal gesture is like she just wasn't ready for that.
Pastiche is going to pat Xalia on her weird fishy skull head.
He'll give them a little bunt back.
Cool.
It's no need for that. It's nothing so formal, just what we do for anyone. But please do try not to run off that far from us. Even though Mikhail now kind of looks around and sort of notices how drab the walls really are. Though I suppose this room was, well, I can see why you were bored of it quickly.
He wanted
never-
to use her swim, honestly.
Okay.
She kind of shrugs and just. You can't rate a facial expression. If
Sure.
you could, it would be non-committal.
Hmm.
Well, in the meantime, would you care to mess with these? And Chuman hands out the gold teeth to Xalia.
Xalia puts one in her mouth and then shapeshifts it so that it's held in.
I had a feeling you
She
did that.
reconfigures this fish skull so that it holds that tooth in.
That's more like you. Better already. And then Makayla would sort of turn northwards. Instead of chasing after whatever that fiend was in its watery domain, I think we should check out what this hidden room was. Just got a glimpse of it before the commotion happened. There is something inside of it, but I didn't get a good look.
Well, we certainly shouldn't linger around here.
Alright. As you all maneuver to the north, Toka hoists Mouse back under his arm, and as you all move down this hallway to the next room, he pipes up, I got to look at that one. Due to the light that your name is Twig.
Twig nods.
Your lantern afforded me sight past the vision that this lizard man was able to give me. That is definitely the creature that attacked us when we made our initial arrival. I owe him a good thrashing.
Seems intimidating.
We should not let that one get the jump on us. I think if perhaps we had the element of surprise instead, we would have the upper hand. He looks at you, Twig. A sucker punch, if you would.
And Twig nods. And maybe not in a room that's waist deep in water as well.
Ideally. And then, yeah, so you all make it to this room. Let's see here. This room, the collapse is more prominent here. There's niches and alcoves that hold small golden kind of like vases or urns. They line the walls of this chamber where the boulders haven't caved it in. The ceiling in the corners of the room are badly damaged and have collapsed, burying much of the area. At the center, there is a marble pedestal that stands atop a short dais. Atop the pedestal is a massive sculpture of a bird's head. The beak wide and the gullet dark, as if it's waiting to be fed. And that's what's in this room. Makayla, however, I am passing a note. So, while Makayla appears to be momentarily in...
Makayla would be in that like same sort of
Yeah.
almost like trance like stupor, like as sort of, or trance like awe of like looking at the room, even if it doesn't appear like there's much in it.
While that's going on, what would you like to do? Everyone not named Makayla.
Chuman to look around the room to see if there's anything that's particularly eye-catching.
Sure.
Amelia's being a good girl for a bit.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, Chuman. If
Investigation.
anyone else is also looking, you can decide Well, I think for rooms where it's clearly like we would all like to look around, we'll just choose someone who is like helming the investigation, and then someone will help in some manner, and then we'll make the roll with advantage, rather than all dogpile the roll in the future. I think they'll just make it simpler.
Yeah.
So we'll say, Chuman, go ahead and make your roll with advantage as everyone's looking around. Or, let me back up. So we'll say for this last time, everyone can make their own individual roll, or you can give somebody advantage. Either is fine.
Okay.
And then we'll just retain Chuman's 8 for his current roll. So what would you like to do? Everybody make an individual roll, or choose somebody with advantage?
I'm going to make an individual roll, but Pastiche is going to be focusing pretty intently on this sort of rune in the middle.
Okay. Go ahead. Well, Twig, what would you like to investigate then?
My idea was also for the rune in the middle.
Cool.
I could help Pastiche, maybe.
Okay. So Pastiche, go ahead and make your check with advantage, and then Xalia, you're just kind of behind.
Yeah, she's just kind of sitting around, looking around a little bit, a bit more muted than usual.
Alright, Chuman, you look around and kind of like kick a few rocks here and there. It looks definitely like this place was some kind of shrine, perhaps, but it's been destroyed, so it's difficult to tell. There's a couple gold urns that they're in just kind of little alcoves, just hanging in the walls. Well, sorry, not hanging, like sitting in the walls. So you're kind of fiddling with those a bit, and they're just gold-plated. Dusty, perhaps. Got a bit of grime on them. But that's what catches your attention, Chuman. Pastiche and Twig, as you all make your way towards the dais, this marble pedestal is holding this huge sculpture of a bird's head, and its beak is just wide open. So there's a sizable gap, a sizable gap that it's creating. You do manage to find an inscription at the base of the pedestal that's on top of the dais that's holding the bird. So on the marble pedestal, you find an inscription. It's in an old language, but it's still like common. It's like just old Khorzaire. You as adventurers just know that because you're special. And you manage. It takes you some time, like maybe about 30 seconds of trying to fiddle with it, get the grime out, kind of like chisel back parts of it to complete a word or a letter, and you manage to get the sense, or not get the sense, you manage to decipher that it says, "Reborn from embers, reach into the darkness."
Hey.
As you all be looking at that statue, you hear Makayla say, sort of, she'd be like completely unmoving, but say, to those who would outlast life, retrieve your destiny from my heart. And then she's kind of blink, shake her head a little bit, and sort of squint again at the statue, and this time she herself will sort of get close to it and say, do any of you see those words in Elvish? Well, do you see any Elvish at all? And a ring around the beak?
They will look.
Absolutely not.
And then shake her head.
Just like the mosaics.
Is there some connection?
She'd try and touch it. Touch the statue.
Okay. when you touch it, it similar to the mosaics. The scene fades, crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
The fiery runes dissipate and just go up in flame, and the wings that are like spread and mighty crumble into dust and like clash down to the ground aside, or on each side. The tail feathers kind of like crumple down and fall off the marble pedestal, and all that remains is the statue of the head.
It looks so real. But again, just why is there something only I see?
Make a religion check. As you question yourself, make a religion check.
Sure. I mean, it's sort of more like a rhetorical question.
Yeah, but I mean, you say this out loud, right?
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for the 13.
Mm-hmm.
In your head, Makayla, there is a...
Oh my god.
Huh, what?
The cat's being very cute. I went over like, hey, what you're doing, and then I saw her fucking shoving her head in between my leg and the
Meow.
chair side.
Cat things.
Maybe.
All
Well,
right.
that's
Makayla, from... seemingly from all around you, and then you perceive that it seems to be coming from the bird statue's mouth. You hear a whisper enter your head, and it whispers a single word, and I just passed you a note.
You would see Makayla kind of like
Maybe.
visibly shiver for slightly, as if like a chill ran down her spine, kind of thing, and look deep into the shaver dust. We look very deeply at the statue. What did she'd sort of stammer and sort of say, what was the script written on it in the common? She'd say to Pastiche.
Reborn from embers, reach into the darkness.
Sorry, what was that first part? I kind of missed like the first word.
Reborn.
Reborn from embers. Okay. You said said like the bird's like mouth was like the beak was open.
Yes.
Is it a hollow, or is it like is it a solid kind of just?
Yeah, it's hollow. Like you can see that there's no rock impeding anything in there.
Okay. Yeah, Makayla would kind of just reach into it.
Okay.
See if there's anything in it.
So this is fun. So you can either tell me out of character, or you can DM it to me if you want. What is important to you?
Oh fuck. Okay.
Obviously, John.
John. What? Oh, that's a very cute cat. Hello, John. It's me. I've returned. As in, like,
what's important to Makayla? What is the most important thing to Makayla?
Sure. I mean,
as you reach in and you feel around in the darkness, your hand goes over this smooth stone, and there is a clamp that goes around your wrist. It's firm but gentle. It doesn't cause any pain, but it prevents you from retracting. And there, you can feel something move across your fingers and press into the palm of your hand. And you, when you close your grip over it, your restraints remove. And you pull back, and in your fingers is a small item. It is very obviously a match, and the match head is slightly different, where normally it would just be, just the match head. It is it is in the shape of a shield, and it is on fire with a pale silver ember.
Wait, is it emitting light, like an actual flame?
Yes.
Oh.
A small amount, but yeah, a pale silver flame that is lit with a shield type match head. It's very clearly a shield. You can see it without paining your eyes. Like, looking directly into it doesn't hurt. It's just a little small match.
Huh. She'd hold it up and look around and think, you all see this flame too, right?
Do we?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, that's good. I think I have suspicions about what this could be, but there's a lot to think about, and I need time, and I don't know if we necessarily have that time. May not be the proper place for this. Is it like burning away the match?
Nope.
Or is it sort of staying? Okay.
No, it's staying there.
Hmm.
It's giving off a gentle warmth.
Makayla would kind of like. I mean, she'd bring one of her fingers sort of close to it to try and, like.
Try to snuff it?
No, not stuff it.
Oh,
Say not
okay.
stuff it. She's like looking at it sort of reverently, and I guess almost to like check if it's like a real fire, like,
Okay.
like kind of poke at it to see if it would just like not. She's not obviously trying to like burn herself, but she wants to like make sure it like actually would burn, you know?
You bring your digits close to it, and there is a gentle warmth. It's not like hot heat, but it is a bit of warm. If you want, you can make an Arcane, or you can make an Arcana check, but I'm not forcing you to.
I probably would.
Okay. Okay. You do get the sense that there is some sort of magic afoot here, as it's not behaving like a normal flame. You kind of like waft. You waft some air towards it with your fingers, and it reacts to the wind being displaced. But it is still lit. It doesn't. It's not hot, and it's not burning down. The fingers holding the match aren't hurt with heat transfer or anything like that.
This would be really cool thematically and visually, but I don't know if this would make sense for Makayla to do. But I guess almost like moving without thinking, she'd she'd move the match, or move or she'd sort of put the sort of like the beak of the sort of vulture head that's at the end of her staff into the flame. Does
so
it?
you've got the
Does it
match
light?
Okay.
I'm lighting my staff on fire.
Okay.
My wooden staff.
Let's
Does it
see.
burn?
I think what happens is the fire passes over the unfinished head of the staff, and it looks like it's about to engulf it, and then it kind of like stays lit for just a brief moment, and then dissipates without smoke without charring the wood or anything like that.
Fascinating. This is definitely no normal fire. I mean, if the fact that it was in a 100-year-old ruin wouldn't give that away. So the staff is sort of undamaged completely. Just
The staff is undamaged.
huh. Is there anything else in the room at all beyond just this
There's
pedestal?
There's the golden urns that are in the little alcoves. The alcoves are like squared off at the bottom, and then they form domes over the gold urns. What would anybody else like to do?
Caleb would kind of sigh and be like, "Would you all mind, for the sake of thoroughness, I suppose, smash those urns in case there's other hidden keys within them?"
Hold on. I need to do it there.
Michaela's hands are like currently full. One hand holding the torch, the other hand, or holding the match. The other.
Okay, no, Xalia's gonna stick her hand in.
Alright, cool. Xalia, what is the general...
I'm gonna make that a low DC because she's already like a little shaken, but you know.
Okay, what is the general makeup of your extremity that you're shoving into this bird's mouth?
Do you know like how a fish's bone structure and the fin is?
No.
Hold on.
I do not. But if you just say a fish's fin, I get it.
Yeah, basically that, but like bony and with some tar goop in between it.
Cool. It slides over the bird's beak mouth, and it kind of like looks like you're choking the bird with tar.
Michaela is aghast. This is like sacrilege.
And also, yeah, this is fun. You can tell me out of character, or you can DM it to me. What is the most important thing to Xalia?
Oh, dear. What does she consider important?
Yeah, it's a hard question.
Okay, is that a question of... I'm assuming it's in character, what is most important to her, not what is most important to her character, sort of deal?
Yeah, what is the most important thing to Xalia? Like, genuinely.
Let me...
Like, at the bottom of her heart, like, from all of her, like, from her past adventures, the things that she's accomplished, the things that she's learned over the years, and then what she's trying to do, what is important to Xalia. Okay. Around your fin, your tarred fin hand is it's similar clamp. It just clamps down. It kind of like pokes into parts of your flesh, but it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt, but it keeps you from moving. And then passing over your fingers is a cool piece of metal, and you close your hand around it, Xalia, and you bring it back. When you close your hand, the clamp recedes, and the what you bring back is something of it's a scrutinizing tool. It looks like a magnifying glass. The handle is this cool metal that seems to kind of dazzle and shift with different colors depending on how it hits the light. And it just shifts into reds, into purples. It moves over into like a dark it's pearlescent basically. And depending on the light hits, it shifts colors. And the lens of the magnifying glass, it is ornamented with a pair of dragon horns, and the frame of the glass is just the frame of glass is plain and unadorned, but you now have a magnifying glass.
And she's gonna kind of snap back to a very much more thoroughly humanoid shape. Like it's like a rubber band with stretch sort of deal and been let go. Is the impression. Just to have better dexterity to play with this thing. And she's gonna go off and like reflect off the light with it and so on and so forth.
Okay. Xalia, as you like look at various things and like you don't look at it, you start looking at it, you don't look at it, you start looking at it, the ornament on the top seems to change from dragon horns to elf ears to at one point it like grows a beard and then it just changes rapidly with different various features of various creatures.
Oh, she's gonna get out a notebook and start writing down what causes it to do what.
Alright. Mouse is kind of excited at this point, and she's like, what else is in there?
What else? Indeed.
She looks at Chuman and makes a call back. Do it, you won't.
The item Xalia pulled out, that would have like no significance to me, right? To like Neshare. That's like totally separate from like Neshare stuff, right? That's not. It's like its own thing.
Nah, that's a magnifying
right?
glass. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, just okay. That's all, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't saying something that like would be instantly wrong. Yeah, okay, would be like that. That wouldn't make any sense to be in a place like this. What isn't this place? Inside this vessel. Kayla would like step away from it, kind of not afraid, but like reverent, I guess. Still.
Zoaz moves forward. My friends, if we're all taking turns, I think I'll go last. I'm feeling a little waterlogged.
Maybe he'll have a towel.
Twig nods to Zoaz and says, it's understandable. Makayla, do you have any idea what this might be?
I had a theory, but that theory did not account for Makayla to pull out a magnifying glass. Sorry, Xalia to pull out a magnifying glass. I do not know. Perhaps. I don't know.
Twig's going to look at the statue and he'll reach in next.
Okay. This sopping wet, drenched in clothes drenched in water, Kenku kind of like revs himself up and then reaches in, maneuvers your talon in. You're clamped at the wrist again, and then once again, if you please, you can tell me out of character or you can DM it to me. What is the most important thing to Twig throughout his adventures, what he's after, the people he's met up till now? Alright. So Twig, you're clamped down, and then something intertwines between your fingers. It passes over all of your talons, and before clenched in your grip, the clamp releases and you bring it back. And once it comes back to the torchlight that Toka is holding, you see that extricated from the beak of this other bird, you have in your grasp a rose that appears to be made of crystal. It is a red crystal. It's this deep, dark, bloody color. It's cut to give the impression that it is bleeding. So like there's like little blood drops kind of all around the flower bloom. At the bottom of the flower is it's kind of being propped up by a crown. So you have a translucent, you can see through it but it's difficult, extremely dark red crystal rose. The stem kind of like curls into itself.
Twig is just sort of like staring at it in his hand, and he gets quiet.
I judge by your reaction it is a rather significant, something of important significance to you as well. It means nothing to me, never anything, and never heard of anything like that within any sort of lore or stories.
Twig looks up back at the statue, and he says, "I've never heard of anything like this either."
I guess whatever that is, it somehow seems to be able to produce something of great significance to whoever, I guess, answers its call. Makayla kind of looks very like just trying to understand what it is and why it's there.
Pastiche is gonna stare at the statue for a bit and get kind of lost in thought. And then reach inside.
Alright, Pastiche. You dive your clawed extremity into the beak of this great bird statue. The statue is huge. You reach down its gullet and you can feel its throat kind of clamping on you and holding your forearm fast. It's like enough to get your kind of like blood pressure pumping and you can feel it against the stone that kind of collapses in on you. And if you please, you can tell me out of character, or you can DM me. What is the most important thing to Pastiche? Alright, Pastiche, in this moment, and you're thinking about you're thinking your thoughts, being lost in thought, just kind of like reaching down, almost spacing out. Then there's a couple thoughts that snap into your mind, and you feel the your fingertips, your claws. You do feel a familiar, like it's immediately familiar, this material. You instantly know what it is, and once you grasp it in your talons, the clamp is released and you pull back. And already knowing what you hold in your hand, you somehow you had closed your eyes, and you open your eyes and you look at it. In your hand is held a small paintbrush. The bristles are made from lion's hair.
Pastiche is just going to give it a somber look.
My headphones just disconnected. Can you say that again? My headphones just like managed to. I touched the thing and I just kind of stopped the instant. Can you say that again? What it was? I missed it.
It's a small paintbrush. The bristles are made of lion's fur.
Okay.
Pastiche is just going to stow that away.
Chuman
While
mentions.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Briefly interrupt. While you're stowing it away, Pastiche, you do notice that, like, you touch the bristles, you notice that there's something slightly wet about it. You touch it, and it pulls back a clear liquid. So, the blush is the brush is definitely not bleeding on you, but it's a clear liquid.
Okay.
And you bring your claws to your nose, and you get the smell of slightly saltiness. You flick your snake tongue over it to taste the air, and it's salt water, or not really salt water, but it's salty water.
Okay.
And I'll leave it there unless you want to probe further.
No, not right now.
Okay. Go ahead, Chuman.
Chuman then speaks up. Well, if everybody else has done it, I'll find out for myself. And Chuman steps forward to put his hand down.
Mouse is popping off.
So many interesting things.
Let's see, Chuman. So you roll up your sleeve, adjust your goggles, and reach into the belly of this bird. And as you reach into this great winged predator and feel down, there's of course a grip on your wrist and forearm, preventing you from moving. There's actually a brief moment where uncontrollably you try to yank and move and try to resist against it, but you manage to calm yourself down. And if you please, tell me out of character or DM it to me. What is the most important thing to Chuman? and they're no, sorry. You wait for a moment, expectantly, since everyone else also had a prize. There's a moment where not much happens. You're waiting there for a longer time than your companions, and then there's for a quick instant, there's a piercing pain on in your head, on your on the left side of your head, in your left eye. Like it's that kind of pain where it's just like it's behind your eye, and it feels awful. But it lasts only a moment. And then after that, you feel something push towards your hands, and gripping it, you get the sense that it's a handle of some sort of tool. And then once you hold it fast, you are released, and you're able to come back. And you bring you bring out a weapon. This is a small. Well, looking at it again, it's not really a weapon. It is a small knife. It is intricately made, however, and it depicts a very peculiar and ornate makeup. The handle that you're holding on is the tail feather of a bird, and then the crosspiece emulates the wings, and then the blade is protruding from the mouth of this bird. However, the knife edge is engraved and almost made out of a twisting dual snake that twists and forms into the blade where it becomes part of their fangs. So it's just a little small knife made from snakes twisted together that has a little bird motif.
Chuman has a lot of emotions between this. Still feeling kind of the sharp pain, but then the confusion to the blade, and he just stands there for a moment, trying to figure out how that blade can be connected to his thoughts.
You take a moment and examine it a little bit more, and you can see that the snakes are coming out of the bird's mouth, but almost as if it were like they're just kind of like rammed in there. They're choking the bird, kind of. That's what the sense you get out of it.
I see. And puts it in his back pocket and looks back at the rest.
And Chuman, when you look back, you do get the sense that it is the bird itself is familiar to a mark you have on your body.
Okay.
As Chuman turns around, holds this little knife, puts it in his pack, and he looks at you all. I think that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Alright.
All right.